Mother cracked her son's skull open and then lied to the police. Mothers are supposed to be the ultimate protectors, the ones who cradle us in their warmth and love. But what happens when that very source of affection and security transforms into a heartless killer? In 2018, a mother's worst nightmare came to life when Charisse Stinson reported her son as missing. What initially appeared to be a kidnapping case quickly spiraled into something far more sinister, a twist that no one could have ever imagined. What happened? On a seemingly ordinary day in September, Charisse Stinson was offered a ride by a guy named Antwan. The guy had asked Charisse for a sexual favor, and she agreed. However, his ride didn't go as planned, and Charisse found herself in a situation that would become every parent's nightmare. While seated in her car, she experienced a sudden and violent blow to the head, rendering her unconscious. The next thing she knew, she awoke in a daze, alone in a desolate park. The world as she knew it had been turned upside down. Antwan, the man she was with, had vanished without a trace, along with his Toyota Camry and, most heartbreakingly, her precious toddler, Jordan. The incident sparked a frantic search and a whirlwind of questions. How could Antwan disappear so suddenly? What happened in the moments leading up to Charisse's blackout? And above all, where was the child? The mystery of the missing toddler and the Toyota Camry became a focal point of intrigue as authorities and the community alike sought answers to these pressing questions. The police quickly launched their investigation, but one thing was crystal clear. Charisse's account didn't quite add up. Something was clearly off. The investigation begins. The interrogation starts with the police trying to find some answers. They ask her if she has anything related to her house to help the police find Jordan. Quickly, Charisse denies having any clue and says they can go through anything they want, a smart move. Little does she know that the police are smarter than she thinks.
Is there anything you'd be concerned about we find around your house, in your house, at the apartment complex?
You can go through whatever you want.
I know, and I understand that.
Whatever you want.
But do you know of anything you'd be concerned about?
No.
The investigating officers have gone through Charisse's house and are asking questions about anything that could help them find her son.
Have you thrown away any clothing, bedding, anything over the past few days?
I threw away a rug because his grandma brought us pizza. But that was a couple days ago.
Is that the one rolled up outside?
No, that's been outside. They keep yelling at me for.
Not that.
Now, here's the fishy part. Charisse has not just thrown out a rug, but a lot of stuff from her house recently. The question is, why?
What'd you throw away?
A bunch of stuff. Cause I don't know if you've been to my house, but the closet's a mess.
Where'd you throw it away?
Well, usually I throw it away inside the neighbor's bin because I don't have a box. But I just tie it up in the bag and put it outside my door, and because they come pick up our trash.
Okay.
The investigators go on to explain that they have found something concerning, but want to make sure that Charisse hasn't thrown anything away.
So, as we keep going through the story, we found some clothing today in the area you live, and it's concerning. But you haven't thrown any clothing away in the area you're saying?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Okay.
Charisse still denies knowing anything or throwing away anything suspicious. However, what comes next is truly a shocker.
We found some clothing that's got blood on it. Okay. And it's thrown away near the office.
Realizing that her own words aren't adding up, Charisse quickly admits to throwing away Jordan's clothes. According to her, the blood on his clothes is from a chin injury.
Of the apartment complex.
Yes, that's from his chin. And I know exactly what you're talking about is some red sweatpants. Oh shit, I don't know what kind of shirt that was.
But this statement doesn't make sense. Do you know why? Because Charisse has already told the cops that the injury happened 3 weeks ago. Something is definitely fishy, and the cops are quick to point that out.
And you said the chin thing happened about 3 weeks ago?
Why are we just throwing that away now?
Dumbfounded and initially speechless, Charisse tries to come up with an explanation, but her own words seem to be failing her. Slowly but gradually, you can see the anxiety increasing on her face.
I mean, that's not normally thrown in the way. Like, they do whatever they want with the trash. I have proof to show you that I get yelled at.
What other clothing was with that set?
Charisse goes on to explain the clothing she threw away, but again, her story doesn't seem legit. The officers are not buying her version, and it's clear she is in trouble.
You said that was at least 3 weeks, if not a month ago.
The same thing with the towel. Because when Jordan even washed the towel and it still didn't come out. What else? Shit, I don't know. It's still a bunch of stuff in that closet that could have.
The cops keep asking Charisse why she threw away the clothes after such a long time, even though the injury happened nearly a month ago. However, Charisse is trying to divert the topic and avoid clear answers. So far, the cops have successfully recovered Jordan's clothes, but are struggling to uncover any meaningful clues. Charisse's persistent silence is becoming a roadblock, leaving them with more questions than answers. It is evident that a different approach is needed to crack this case wide open. With a collective eye roll, they decide it is high time to put politeness aside, call Charisse's bluff, and confront her head-on, hoping to shake loose the truth and push the investigation ahead.
Something has happened to him. He's been hurt. Okay? I know you're taking a deep breath, but I'm not fully connecting the dots in what you're saying. It's just too... It looks far-fetched.
Can I take? Is there a way I can take a lot of tests to prove? Because I don't know.
I mean, it's something we could maybe set up in the future. They're not really necessarily reliable.
Charisse is clearly growing more uncomfortable by the moment, avoiding rational conversation and even eye contact. The cops are quick to note this and ask her to look at them while she talks. A lack of eye contact is a huge red signal and means that the suspect is trying to hide something. As soon as the cops ask her to maintain eye contact, Charisse quickly breaks down.
Can you look up?
Listen to me.
Did y'all think I could, please?
Oh, whoa. Back that up. Back that up.
Who said that? Who said you did something?
Charisse, listen to what I'm going to say to you, okay? Look at me. Look at me. You last saw him when?
The last time I seen him was when I put him in the car. Then on the passenger side, I didn't hurt him.
And that was Saturday night.
That was Saturday night.
At about 10.
Yes, sir. I don't know what you got to do. I can't do this.
We're looking. We're still looking. Even though we're having this conversation, people are looking. Believe me. But that doesn't get us any closer to finding him either. And there's these points of the investigation we have to talk about.
This emotional facade was clearly her new tactic, and she stuck by her story of being attacked by Antwan. According to Charisse, her son went missing because Antwan had kidnapped him. But soon, her statement changed, saying he must have dropped him off somewhere, perhaps in the park where he left her unconscious. But perhaps she doesn't know that she's trying to trick the wrong people.
Now, I'll be a little graphic for a moment, okay? But if we're playing hypothetical and he leaves him with you in the park, he probably would have walked out on the East Bay. He's not going to wander into a dark park. He's not going to go into the darkness. He probably would have been found had he gone near the road, whether it was a good way or a bad way. You know, people notice a kid wandering around. He's been missing. Oh, we're at 12. We're at about 18 hours.
The investigators ask straightforward questions. Why would a small child leave their mom and wander alone in a scary place? It simply doesn't make sense.
We went through the cameras on East Bay Drive. We found nothing that supports your story of you walking with a child. Okay, I don't have anything to back up what you're telling me.
Now the police have started to ask more important questions. These questions help explain what happened and why. The answers connect the missing pieces of the puzzle. And it's not at all like what Charisse had said before.
How's your temper, Charisse? You get upset sometimes? Lose your temper?
The only person who gets me that mad is Jordan Sr. from my family.
The guy who pawns a child off on you day in and day out. The guy who beat you up a month ago and doesn't care. The guy who's got you pregnant again. In his own words, he doesn't care. The guy who's basically taking your life down a whole different path, and he can go off and party and do whatever. He's left you to be a single mom.
The police are discussing none other than Jordan's father, who goes by the name Jordan Sr. It turns out that Charisse has suffered due to his actions, which has led to her having problems controlling her anger. The police employ a clever tactic by showing empathy towards Charisse, acknowledging the challenges she has faced. This approach aims to create a sense of vulnerability in her, encouraging her to open up and share the true side of the story.
He's a person you want to be with, and all he wants to do is get away from you. That hurts. I get it.
But I don't care about that.
Well,
I don't care about that because even if I don't have him, I still have my child.
Sure. But being a parent can be frustrating. You don't have someone there to help. Okay? Tempers get lost. I've lost my temper with my own children before. It's just a part of being a parent. Okay? Sometimes things happen by accidents.
Little does Charisse know that the police have thoroughly examined every piece of evidence, including her internet history. It's at this point that she comes to the realization that her game is up. However, she's not ready to give in without a fight.
Sometimes they're pretty rigid little guys, but once in a while, something happens to them that they don't bounce back from right away, and it causes parents to get scared and nervous and check the internet, see what things might need to be done, things of that nature. I have a pretty strong idea of what I think happened, okay? And it doesn't mean it was done with intention to hurt him. It could have been, I don't know the situation. But something has happened with Jordan Jr. over the last few days that you're not telling me.
One of the key strategies in investigations is to downplay the severity of the alleged crimes to create an environment where confessions might be more likely. The police officers deliberately attempt to make the actions sound as if they were understandable or driven by human emotions. The big question is, will Charisse be swayed by this approach and decide to open up? Let's find out.
I did not.
Charisse,
you gotta believe I did not hurt him.
Charisse,
I did not hurt him. Please.
Maybe you didn't mean to.
I didn't hurt him.
Charisse,
no.
Look at me.
No, you're not gonna say that because I know I didn't hurt him. Oh, maybe it was okay.
We're looking, but we're not finding much except red flags in his own home. Okay? In his own apartment complex. We've got a bunch of bloody clothing. We've got neighbors saying there was some loud banging going on the other night. We've got some unexplainable Google searches.
Now, here's where matters start getting more intense and clearer at the same time. Charisse's neighbors had previously reported hearing loud banging. To be more specific, the neighbors described the bang as so powerful that it caused their own furniture to fall, and it seemed like something had struck Charisse's wall with significant force.
If they hear me yelling or banging this, I'm yelling at Jordan.
Charisse, the neighbors reported something got hit on your wall so hard it knocked a piece of furniture off on their side. You've got a lot of people worried. A lot of people are looking. It may be hard to say, but I just want the truth. And we'll work with it whatever way we have to.
Charisse continues to avoid making eye contact and engaging in any rational conversation. Her demeanor strongly suggests one thing. Whatever happened to Jordan, it wasn't due to any person named Antwan. It happened due to his own mother.
Charisse, we want to be proved wrong. But we all know sitting in this room that Antwan did not keep that child, even if there wasn't Antwan. He does not have that child. He's giving that child, got rid of that child if it was in his car ever. Why won't you look at us?
You didn't walk down East Bay Drive with him last night, did you? I would love to believe you, but there's no video.
Charisse, what didn't you do?
You thinking I'm hurting him?
No. See,
that's what you're implying.
And
then it's just me, so I'm supposed to defend myself.
Charisse persists in trying to outsmart the cops by maintaining an innocent front, but the police aren't buying into her act.
I can't tell you something I don't know.
Charisse,
I cannot tell you something I do not know, okay?
After her persistent denial, the cops leave Charisse alone, and she continues to maintain her facade. However, as she breaks down crying and pleads for her baby to return, it raises the question of whether her tears are genuine or part of her act.
I'm not making it seem like you did anything.
But it feels like it.
But, Charisse, are we in agreement that Antwan would have dropped that child off somewhere?
Yes.
100%.
Because if it was me in that predicament, and that was him, why would I keep a child?
Exactly.
That's not mine.
He's not going to hurt the child.
The cops come back and start the questions once again.
Did you do anything to hurt him? Okay.
No, I did not.
Okay.
And I'm under a lot of stress.
I know.
Hurting him? No.
When
I worked too hard.
When exactly did you throw the bloody clothes out?
I worked too hard. Where or why?
When?
Up to this point, the investigators have exhausted multiple approaches to get Charisse to talk, but she remains stubborn. However, they are experienced in driving confessions, even from the most uncooperative individuals. When all else seems to fail, they decide to appeal to her humanity, hoping it will lead to a breakthrough.
I want you to look at me because I want you to hear this. Look at me. You need to focus on him because it's not fair to him. It is not fair. You need to be an adult and be a stand-up person and do what's right for him. You have answers. You need to get in your heart and figure out how to give us those answers. Look at him. Look at him. He's the answer. Nothing else matters.
In the meantime, the investigators obtain the image of the make-believe Antwan, as described by Charisse, and to their surprise, the image bears a striking resemblance to someone significant. And he guesses. It's Charisse herself.
We got the composite back. He sent it in. What do you think? That you made this whole story up about Antwan. No, I don't believe you one bit, Charisse. You are a liar.
No.
You have not told me the truth all week.
No.
That is a fact. That is a fact. The fact is he's there and he's dead.
With the questions exhausted and Charisse having exhausted all her chances, there is no longer room for lighthearted interrogation. The police officers are now thoroughly frustrated with her persistent lies.
The fact is you walked by after you left him there in the woods behind that dumpster. You left him there, and you carried his backpack, and you left it here. And you made all this shit up to make it look like you're not a monster. You are, because you don't even have the courage to tell your son's story. And I don't know if he was dead when you left him, or if you just left him there in the woods all alone, dying. You didn't do anything but leave him. You walked away from him. You went there last night to see if he was still there, and he was. I saw him with my own eyes. I found him. With my group of people. We found him. Right where you left him. Wearing the clothes. Wearing the shoes.
Even with all the evidence laid bare and the consequences looming, the officer decides to offer Charisse one last opportunity to set the record straight.
And you can choose to do the right thing and tell us what happened at the apartment that night, or that's how the story goes. There he is.
After going through so much, this woman is still full of lies and says that her son fell off the bed.
The head injury we're talking about doesn't happen from a low fall like that.
No, he hit it.
He might have hit it, jumping on the bed, but a low fall from someone his height jumping on the bed, it doesn't happen. So remember your neighbor I told you about? Said something hit their wall really hard on Saturday.
Mm-mm.
Did he hit his head on something Saturday afternoon?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
How did he hit his head hard? Did you get frustrated?
No. Please stop doing that. Please.
I have to ask
Please
Charisse.
stop doing that. Because I'm trying, please.
Was he pissing you off?
The investigators are on the brink of a confession, but the details of the murder are nothing short of horrifying.
Then let me tell you something else that I saw at the scene when I saw his body in the water.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a bruise on his abdomen that's left by a finger, by a squeeze.
Tim,
He has a birthmark right here.
No, that's
it's
not
a
Let me
birthmark.
see that. Because
You're not going to be able to see it. Well, yeah, probably will.
where?
Right there.
That's a bruise.
That's not a birth. You know what that is? That's somebody grabbing the baby hitting them against something. That's what that is.
Yes.
I told you I've been doing this forever, right?
Finally, after hours of denial and lies, Charisse made a confession.
Because he was hungry. And I just got mad. You know, I wasn't really mad. I just wanted him to just shut up for 2 seconds.
Yeah. I can feel the weight coming off you as you talk. It's not.
Monster. You had a moment.
I've been trying since the beginning to let you know that it's okay.
I don't want to die, Jim.
I know you don't. I know you don't. You just wanted him to stop crying.
I just like really hard. And he hit his head really hard
On what?
on the wall.
Which wall?
The one by our bed.
Charisse eventually got charged with first-degree murder. It turned out that she had been having issues with Jordan Sr., her partner, who had gotten her pregnant yet again and wasn't giving any child support. That fateful night, her son got on her nerves, and she took out her anger on him, throwing him against the wall. The impact cracked his skull, and the child continued to have seizures throughout the night. When his condition kept deteriorating, his mother callously dumped him in a woody area. His lifeless body was later discovered by the police. Charisse received a sentence of 50 years in prison for her son's murder. Do you think 50 years is enough for the crime she committed? What are your thoughts on this case? Share them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.